Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tyreek Hill is no stranger to the spotlight, whether it's burning defenders on the field or making headlines off it. And once again, the Miami Dolphins star wide receiver found himself in the center of a social media firestorm. But this time, he made sure to flip the script. In what can only be described as a perfect clapback, Hill took to X, formerly Twitter, to drop a subtle yet savage response to the Indianapolis Colts. A video of him sitting calmly at a laptop, looking at the screen with a slight smirk before calmly shutting it, wiping his hands clean, and walking away. The caption? Brutal and brilliant. Colts social team posting their schedule release video. Wow, any approval. That's it. No rant, no aggressive takedown. Just a well-timed jab that hit harder than any stiff arm. It was the kind of post that didn't need explanation because everyone already knew what it was about. But to fully appreciate just how cold that move was, you have to rewind to where all this started. The Colts, like every NFL team, put together a themed video to unveil their 2025 schedule. Some teams go with animations, others go full cinematic. The Colts decided to go with Minecraft. Yes, the blocky, pixelated world where creativity knows no bounds. Except this time, it did. In week 1 of their video, they chose to represent their matchup against the Dolphins with a dolphin, literal animal, being arrested by the Coast Guard. Funny on paper, maybe to some, but fans quickly picked up on what it was really referencing. Tyreek Hill's off-field run-in with the law. That one creative decision turned a lighthearted video into a PR disaster. The reference was anything but subtle. Back in September, just before Miami's season opener against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Hard Rock Stadium, Hill found himself in a very real and very public situation. During a routine traffic stop, Hill wasn't only pulled over, he was cuffed, detained, and briefly arrested. The footage spread like wildfire across social media, creating a wave of speculation and scrutiny. What made the situation even more dramatic was that it happened just hours before kickoff. The incident, which involved citations for careless driving and not wearing a seatbelt, could have overshadowed the game itself. But Hill still suited up, still played, and after a court no-show from the officers, had the charges dismissed. Legally, it was over. Publicly, that's another story. So when the Colts inserted a tongue-in-cheek nod to that arrest in their video, many saw it as crossing the line. Humor in sports content is nothing new. Teams roast each other all the time. But this felt personal. It wasn't about game results, team records, or even on-field antics. It was about a man's real-life legal trouble, portrayed in a cartoonish and dehumanizing way. The internet immediately split into two camps. Those who thought it was edgy and funny, and those who saw it as tone-deaf and insensitive. And with Hill being one of the league's most polarizing and high-profile players, the backlash was swift. What followed next was a rare thing in the NFL world. A full-blown apology, not just a vague, "we're sorry if you were offended" kind of statement. No, the Colts came right out with it. Through a post shared by NFL insider Ari Meirov, the team admitted fault, acknowledging that the video exceeded our rights with Microsoft and contained an insensitive clip involving Dolphins WR Tyreek Hill. They apologized to both, Microsoft and Hill directly, which, while commendable, also confirmed that they knew they'd crossed the line. The video was pulled from all official channels, but by then, it was too late. The internet doesn't forget, and this is where Tyreek Hill shines. Love him or hate him, the man knows how to handle the spotlight. Rather than rage online or lash out, Hill kept it classy and creative. His video wasn't just a clapback, it was storytelling. It was symbolic. He didn't need to call anyone out by name. He didn't scream for justice or demand another apology. He just calmly shut the laptop, like someone finishing a task they didn't want to deal with. It was the football version of "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed," except with a bit more swagger and a lot more edge. This is also a reminder of how much social media has changed the dynamics between players and teams. 10 years ago, if a franchise mocked a player in a promo, that player might have had to wait for a press conference or a beat writer's question to respond. Now, with a single post, a player can set the tone, control the narrative, and even turn public opinion. Hill's clapback was the digital equivalent of a game-winning touchdown celebration. Unexpected, unforgettable, and undeniably effective. It showed that players have voices and platforms of their own, and that they're not afraid to use them. Meanwhile, the Colts are left picking up the pieces. What was supposed to be a fun, quirky release video turned into a cautionary tale about on tone and timing. Even in the high-energy, joke-filled culture of NFL content, there's still a line. Making fun of someone's legal trouble, especially when it's been resolved, just doesn't play the same way it might have in a locker room setting. And to do it using a family-friendly game like Minecraft, that only made the contrast sharper. The backlash they received wasn't just from Dolphins fans, it came from across the league, with even neutral fans questioning the decision. For Hill and the Dolphins, this whole episode may have added a little extra fuel heading into week 1. If there's one thing Tyreek Hill doesn't need, it's motivation. But give him a slight and he'll turn it into a statement. Expect him to show up that Sunday with receipts, and don't be surprised if there's a post-game tweet or two to cap it off. Miami fans are already circling that date on the calendar, and thanks to the Colts, the matchup now has way more juice than your typical season opener. Hill's response wasn't just a clapback, it was a warning shot. In the end, Tyreek Hill got the last laugh. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't call anyone names. He just let the moment speak for itself. And in doing so, he reminded everyone, from NFL teams to social media, managers to rival players, that if you come at the king, you best not miss. The Colts tried to get cute. Hill shut it down with class, confidence, and a whole lot of style. And now the ball is in his court, literally and figuratively, when week 1 kicks off. You can bet all eyes will be on that field and on Tyreek Hill. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Shaquill Griffin's arrival at the Miami Dolphins has instantly sent waves of excitement through the team's fan base and defensive squad alike. Known for his aggressive style and uncanny ability to read opposing quarterbacks, Griffin brings a new level of tenacity to the Dolphins' secondary. Miami has long sought a lockdown cornerback to elevate their defense, and with Griffin stepping onto the scene, that search may well be over. His reputation for suffocating receivers and disrupting plays is exactly what the Dolphins need to turn. Close games into definitive victories. Fans are already envisioning a defense that can consistently pressure opponents, force turnovers, and set the tone from the first snap. The journey that led Griffin to Miami is a testament to his resilience and growth as a player. Drafted in the first round years ago, Shaquill quickly proved himself as a cornerstone cornerback with a nose for the ball. His stints with previous teams showcased his ability to lock down elite receivers and make game-changing plays. But now, with the Dolphins, he faces a fresh challenge and a fresh opportunity to cement his legacy. Miami's defensive coordinator has spoken highly of Griffin, praising his football IQ and physicality. The synergy between Griffin and the Dolphins' pass rushers could create a nightmare scenario for quarterbacks, as pressure and coverage tighten simultaneously. What makes Griffin so effective is his unique blend of speed, instincts, and physicality. He isn't just a shadow on the field following receivers, he's a disruptor who forces quarterbacks to second-guess their throws. Griffin's presence in the secondary forces offenses to alter their game plans, often avoiding his side of the field entirely. This strategic advantage can change the dynamics of a game by limiting options for the opposing quarterback and opening opportunities for interceptions and deflections. The Dolphins hope Griffin's arrival will reduce the number of big plays against their defense and give their offense more chances to control the clock and the scoreboard. In addition to his physical gifts, Griffin brings leadership and experience to a relatively young Dolphins defense. Veteran players and coaches alike have praised his work ethic and professionalism. He's known for being a locker room presence who motivates teammates to elevate their play. This kind of leadership is invaluable for a team aiming to make a deep playoff run. With Griffin anchoring the secondary, younger players will have a role model to learn from, and that can accelerate the team's overall defensive development. The Dolphins fans are not just getting a player, they're getting a true competitor who thrives in pressure situations. Miami's defensive scheme is expected to capitalize on Griffin's versatility and coverage skills. Whether it's man-to-man coverage on elite receivers or zone coverage, schemes that demand quick reads and aggressive ball skills, Griffin fits the mold perfectly. His adaptability allows the coaching staff to craft intricate defensive packages that confuse quarterbacks and capitalize on mistakes. The ability to seamlessly switch between different defensive roles without losing effectiveness makes Griffin a coach's dream. His performance in the upcoming season could very well redefine Miami's defensive identity and elevate them to a new level of competitiveness in the league. Beyond the X's and O's, Griffin's arrival has energized the entire Dolphins organization and fan base. Social media buzz and preseason hype have created a palpable buzz around Miami's defense. Fans are hungry for a team that can match the explosive nature of the offense with a defense that intimidates and disrupts. Griffin embodies that defensive spirit, and his arrival signals that the Dolphins are serious about contending. The excitement around the team is not just hope. It's backed by a player who has proven time and again that he can change the course of games with his defensive prowess. The impact of Griffin on the Dolphins' defense extends beyond his individual stats. His ability to draw double coverage frees up teammates to make plays, creating a ripple effect throughout the secondary. This can lead to more interceptions, forced fumbles, and critical stops that swing momentum in Miami's favor. The presence of a lockdown corner also boosts the pass rush by giving defenders more time to pressure the quarterback. This synergy between Griffin and the front seven could be the missing piece for a Dolphins defense that has been searching for consistency and dominance. Analyzing the matchups ahead, Griffin's ability to shut down top-tier wideouts will be tested early and often. Miami's schedule features several high-powered offenses, and Griffin's role will be pivotal in containing dynamic passing attacks. His experience and confidence will be crucial in these games, especially in critical moments where a single coverage win or interception can decide the outcome. The Dolphins coaching staff is counting on Griffin to be that difference maker, the player who can tilt the balance in Miami's favor in tight contests. If he delivers, the Dolphins could be looking at one of the best defensive units in the league. Shaquill Griffin's commitment to the Dolphins goes beyond just signing a contract. His mindset is clear. He wants to be a disruptive force, suffocating quarterbacks and shutting down receivers with relentless intensity. Interviews have revealed his passion for the game and his determination to help Miami win now. He's embraced the challenge of adapting to a new team and system and is eager to build chemistry with his teammates. That hunger and drive are what make Griffin such a valuable addition. When the season kicks off, expect Griffin to be one of the most talked about defensive players in the NFL. Ultimately, Griffin's arrival could mark a turning point for the Miami Dolphins franchise. With a more dominant defense led by his tenacity and skill, Miami has a chance to compete at the highest level and make a serious playoff push. The blend of his individual talent, leadership, and strategic fit within a team's defensive scheme creates a compelling narrative of transformation. Dolphins fans should brace themselves for a defense that not only covers ground, but also creates chaos for opposing quarterbacks. Shaquill Griffin is not just a new player in Miami, he's the catalyst for a defense that promises to suffocate and stun opponents all season long. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!